The Panda Space Warrior custom civilization I created in Galactic Civilizations IV using the innovative alien GPT AI system is a galaxy-conquering society which grew from their homeworld of Bamboo Sanctum to rule over this galaxy cluster, crushing several alien species in the process of achieving a landslide prestige victory. Now, thanks to Stardock Entertainment, who sponsored this gameplay guide of their latest Supernova update to Galactic Civilizations IV, which is playable on Steam in early access, I will show you how to take your own pre-made or custom civilization and lead it to victory. Or you could just grind all your alien competition under your heel by constructing and deploying a Terror Star space station, which allows you to turn a star into a nova and it blows away its own planetary system into asteroid debris and space dust along with all the alien inhabitants. Totally up to you. The first step when playing Galactic Civilizations IV Supernova is to choose one of the predefined human or alien civilizations which you can customize or create a totally new one yourself with the help of the mentioned alien GPT AI system, which can generate a full description and portraits of your new civilization, as well as set up its stats and abilities based on just the short description and name you came up with. It created a very interesting panda civilization for me, and with a few tweaks here and there, I was happy with it, taking it on a spin for some galactic conquest on a small map of the universe, because if I had chosen a bigger map, I would still be playing instead of sharing my knowledge with you. A mix of warmongering and peaceful trading or culture-focused civilizations gives a good basis for a fun game in which you can use every tool at your civilization's disposal, from space stations and planets spreading your culture to take over enemy planets peacefully, to the mentioned superweapon which destroys entire solar systems. But to even gain access to all the gameplay features and mechanics present in Galactic Civilizations IV Supernova, your homeworld must first form the Colonial Leadership Council, while you want to start research on colonial policies to be able to enact your first civilization-wide command, which I will talk about in a moment. Next, to speed up future research projects, you want to construct the capital mainframe structure on a research tile of your homeworld represented by the light bulb icon. The hex-based world tiles function on a system of boosting nearby tiles with the same bonus, so building structures or tile improvements is all about planning and correct positioning to benefit from these adjacency bonuses. Same thing with the industrial center and its manufacturing bonus, and all the future buildings you will unlock with new technology discoveries. There are some specialized tiles which have resources or unique pre-existing buildings on them, and hovering your mouse over or clicking on their possible upgrades, you can learn what bonuses they can give your civilization once their improvements are constructed. Now you want to take your flagship, which has a scanner upgrade, and send it to the nearest object which can be investigated, be this a capsule, anomaly, space junk, or something else. Once explored, these give different kinds of rewards, and most of the time you can actually choose what to do with them. To use them instantly, keep them in your vault for later use, or sell them on the market for credits. The probe ship is the one you will be using to explore other solar systems and your galaxy cluster at large, one turn at a time. Your best bet is sending it first to explore your nearest solar neighbors and locate more habitable planets for future expansion. That is where the colony ship comes in, one of which you get at the start, and you should send it to other planets of your homeworld system, which become colonies supplying materials, science, wealth, food, or influence to the world they are closest to, which has a governor. Governed worlds are your core worlds, and all the rest are colonies sending resources to them, which you do not manage except to build space stations in their orbit to boost some stat. A colony world cannot grow past a citizen population of 1 unless it has a large amount of land hexes and a governor who then manages it and allows for construction of improvements, new buildings and shipyards. And not all solar systems have such suitable planets. Now, culture progression in Supernova is rewarded by points which you can use for unlocking culture traits, which give unique bonuses, and depending on your starting civilization setup, you get a discount for one ideology, while discounts for others you accumulate during gameplay and solving events, which show up as results of different actions. We should now circle back to civilization policies, which are available at the civilization overview window, where you can also raise taxes, which lower population approval, see your trade routes and income from those, and most importantly, choose which policies to enact. More slots become available through research and other means, which show up as you play. Each policy boosts something, but there are those which have a negative side to them. Many are useful even later in the game, but some become outdated as their bonuses aren't substantial enough for large space empires. For my Panda civilization, I reduced taxes to their low setting because my first policy has to be coerced colonization, as it gives a huge boost to population growth, but also a large decrease to approval rating among the citizens. I do this because new colony ships built at the homeworld's shipyard require a citizen to board them from the planet's existing population. You can't send out colonists who will colonize new planets if your population doesn't grow. The last part of making a good start with my Panda civilization is recruiting enough characters from the available pool to fill all the first unlocked ministers positions, which are of colonization, technology, and exploration. But you have to match character traits for science, social skills, diligence, and resolve with the appropriate minister's requirements. Luckily, these character cards change colors depending on the ministry they work at, which makes it more visually clear and easier to use. Later, you'll learn to use more recruits as diplomats, additional governors and ministers, as well as commanders of special ships and members of factions inside your civilization. It all functions on the basis of 4 character traits I mentioned, but there are also unique traits at the top left corner of each character's icon, which carry individual bonuses or negative effects. Now, once I boost my population growth with a recruiting station in orbit, I can finally expand my Panda civilization across this galaxy cluster. To speed this up, I can use my executive orders, which spend a special kind of a slowly accumulating resource called control to simply draft a new colony ship and use it to quickly establish a new colony, long before my shipyard constructs my first ordered colony ship, which will require a citizen as a colonist, while this one will not. This is why executive orders go into cooldown once used, and why this resource is accumulated so slowly. New types of executive orders are unlocked from tech research, but also through establishing culture traits I talked about before. And do note that you are not locked into researching one of the offered 3 options, but can explore the 4 different tech trees yourself using the tech navigator and choose a specific tech you want to discover, but you will not get the 50% boost to research speed. I would advise researching the Universal Translator early on to even be able to speak to aliens and start trading or exchanging threats, whichever you prefer. You should know they are also assisted by AI and will haggle like the worst second-hand goods seller you ever came across, but if you befriend them, they can also shower you with gifts or really good deals you never expected to get from computer opponents. There are a lot of secondary resources in this game, some of which you can mine in space, but first have to build constructors in shipyards and send them into range of such resource nodes. There you use these ships to construct space stations, mining ones for this purpose, and later expand their mining capability with upgrades which cost modules and different secondary resources. These space station modules can be constructed by both planets and shipyards. Communication space stations are the ones you need to construct close to alien relics you find floating in space to benefit from their unique bonuses. Like any other spacefaring civilization, my pandas also met pirates outside their solar system, and you can scare them off with beam or missile shots from a distance, or if that doesn't do the job, plan to engage them in combat, but not before first softening up their fleets with such long-range attacks or special ancient weapons you picked up and stored in your vault just for this occasion. You can't control ships in combat, so it is up to you to have the latest in space warfare technology developed for new ships you construct, and you can use certain civilization policies to increase their combat power, defense systems, or health points. Fleet size will grow with tech analogs, as will weapon types and their combat power. Some ships, like your flagship, certain unique ones, and your homeworld special ships, for which you choose captains, can level up and also upgrade their stats with individual modules, of which more powerful ones will cost those secondary resources I mentioned. These you will certainly need if you decide to create your own ship in the fantastic and expansive ship designer, which has been a staple of this game franchise for a long time. First, you pick a class of ship you want to design, and then you just start going through the many parts and pieces and scale, rotate in all three axes, or even animate them to create the spaceship of your dreams or nightmares. After that, you have a limited number of slots and weight of the ship's class to fill up with several different weapon systems, shields, armor, engines, and point defenses. I could have spent an eternity in the ship designer myself, but I rushed one design to be able to showcase it for you. Once you save your design, it will be available for construction at any of your shipyards. For my Panda Empire to expand in this universe, I chose which faction to make a friend of, while another faction chose to make an enemy of me. Another faction was trying to use its culture to take over my planets, so I had to deal with these in different ways. But I also had to keep in mind that I wanted to achieve a prestige victory, meaning I had to start taking on galactic challenges. These fill up the list as you play and reach certain conditions for them to become available, and some have one or more prerequisites before you can complete them and earn the corresponding number of prestige points. These are points which fill up the purple cup icon on the top right corner of the screen. Basically everything you produce or gather will add up to your prestige score, but galactic challenges make up a large percentage of it, and there are many different ones you can complete. I like to have high manufacturing on my Panda planets, so for me, building special buildings or improvements to finish these challenges is the easiest thing to do, but it does take some time and specific secondary resources. You can of course win by the oldest method in the book, space warfare and planetary conquest, and some factions will be all too happy to start a war with you early in your playthrough. My Panda Empire ended up fighting 2 wars in a nearby galaxy cluster, and most important thing for me to do was to construct ships with advanced weapons I researched and to increase their health points while leveling them up or using ancient weapons and armor tech I found in ancient relics and stockpiled in my vault for just such an occasion. Siege ships were good for bombarding enemy planets into submission, but best are transport ships, which take your citizens on as invaders and they can conquer a planet for you much faster. The Terror Star space station is your ultimate space war weapon, which takes a fair bit of weapon tech research, lots of expensive secondary resources, and it is built as a space station that can move slowly around the galaxy. But if you blow up all the enemy star systems, don't be disappointed if there is nothing left for you to rule over, or that no one wants to be your friend anymore. To keep things civil as much as possible between space warrior pandas and all the other even stranger alien civilizations, you can strive for the prestige victory like my pandas, by finishing galactic challenges, researching a lot of technologies, spreading your culture, and maybe poaching a few planets here and there from your galactic neighbors to boost your manufacturing potential and wealth accumulation. All of this will come together to get you on the chart as the top civilization and let you win in Galactic Civilizations IV Supernova. I hope you enjoyed this guide and overview. Thank you for watching and happy gaming!